from Zoom to YouTube. And this is something that you also can do on your projects, is with the Wix website, you can do a Zoom recording. Let me get the URL here. Put it in my notepad. That we have. Okay. And the meeting is being recorded. And do I have a couple of volunteers to man the chat? Who's for?
I can do it.
Okay, who's that? Okay, Sam?
Yep.
Volunteer, and who else? Let me have a second one. Connor?
I can do it. Yeah.
Okay, so you and Connor man the desk. Let me know. Another thing that we'll need to do, if you guys can be a lookout, and also Daniel, welcome. Daniel, if you can be a lookout for Ellery from Wix, she'll be in. She's supposed to be in at 4 p.m. and we'll have her cover some of our major topics in Wix. Okay, and some of the things I wanted you to add, Daniel, or a couple of things that we have. Okay, folks, welcome. We basically, our next part is our project, which I told you about, looking at Gen AI and its applications. You all submitted your proposals. We went over it last time we met. And the next stage is doing a foundation using Wix. The reason I am requiring us to use Wix is that I have an academic relationship and partnership with the company that allows students in my classes to upgrade to their business plan so we can get full domain rights and additional features that they have. So our work will be professional. We're not advertising Wix. We're not doing so-called, quote, BTE210 project, but basically a consulting business that you guys are going to be demonstrating your expertise. So there's a way in which you need to meet with your groups much more frequently and deciding which apps everyone's going to cover. I expect each person in the group to cover at least one app in detail. Maybe you'll be doing some comparisons. You can maybe do it as breaking it down to 2 people, doing comparisons among different apps as well. You'll also be required to have a full blown website as well. We'll go into more of the details on that. So as I proceed, let me go ahead and share my screen since I have everybody on board. Everybody is hopefully going to be showing their, turning on their webcam of Amanda and Marie and Emilio, and Daniel's here. If there's any special questions directed to him, Daniel, you'll take those and let me know as well, Daniel, if there's something that I need to do. But I'll tell you a couple of things that I wanted you to do as well, Daniel, to make it clear to the students. So we know that we have our transcripts, we have our participants on screen. Let me just move this a bit. So if I can move my screen here. So I can have my full screen. This is my audit area. These are my students. We had the Zoom. We talked about what's due. Let me just go over the what's due as we always do. Basically, this Wednesday is your work, your readings and your quizzes on chapter 14, which is artificial intelligence. We had covered last time cloud computing, and I've given you two URLs that are important to see. One was one Microsoft Azure was one vendor, and another one was Amazon's AWS, Amazon's Web Services, and going over that of the cloud. And the next part is artificial intelligence. And then your assignment for this Wednesday is part 2, a continuation of your Gen AI consulting company. And the instructions for that is under assignment instructions, where right here is a final part of continuation of AI consulting. There'll be a number of parts, and the reason we're doing it so that we can, when we present on the last day of class, we really should be complete in our assignment. There shouldn't be a lot of pressure at the end of the site. So here you have a PDF going through all the parts of the goals, being competent to showcase your generative AI tools, your research on those apps, and launch a live website. The first stage is what I want you to do is do a free site. So everybody have a free site. Once we kind of approve your free site, then you can upgrade to the business plan site and get your domain name. So you can see here that you can sign up with your Wix account, sign up originally with your free site, set up the roles and the permissions for team collaboration. And we're going to have Ellery come in from Wix, and I'll have her go over this with us. Edit your site where you'll have your home page. You'll have a team page. Everybody should have their professional pictures of each team member, and assign with that. Think about what your role in the company is going to be, so it won't be a student and they're just student A and student B, but rather if you're the CEO, the CFO, you're in charge of social media marketing, and place that in your description. It should be real, right? You're not going to make up stories about yourself, but it's based on your role in this company. You'll have a logo. It can be AI generated. You'll publish your site. So next time on Wednesday, on your audit area in your folder, we'll be able to just click on it. Everyone will be able to click on each other's website to see what you have. You'll have to come up with 3 applicable, at least 3, but really what I'm saying is an app. Daniel, basically I see it as an app for each person in the group at least, and continue searching for better apps. Think about what could be a possible domain name. We'll talk, remind me to emphasize that with Ellery of where that is, and place the link in the audit section and under your final group where your names and numbers are, so we can click on it. Then when you upgrade and get a domain name, you'll replace that custom domain with that setup. And that's that second part of what you need to do. So kind of like the first setup, the first pass, and then each week we will get into more detail. So the final week. So that is one part that we will discuss. And the second part is, you see here on my part, it's hidden, but it says exams. We have a second exam on November 18th, and that will be our second exam and our last exam. We will not have a final exam in this class. Rather, I want you during those final weeks to emphasize your group project. It just makes sense to me. We'll be going through that. And then what I do want, Daniel, from your end is if we go to web links, under web links, what's important if I go down is we talked about this. This should be, right, these two articles. I don't know, we have these already, right? You've put those as in terms of reading assignment.
Yes.
What's cloud computing and Amazon, right?
Yeah.
And then we also have put in this also, the people should look
Sure.
at the Google Notebook LM audio at the end of our project. Maybe we'll put that in the I guess part 4 in the instructions that everybody create a podcast with Google
Okay.
Notebook LM. It'll be nice. They can put the link in. Kind of, that'll be, what do you think, Daniel?
I like it.
I like it too. I think it's awesome, right? And then sound professional and see. And what's nice is you can customize it. In Notebook LM, there's a part where you can customize, so you can, once it goes through one version, just like ChatGPT and others, you can basically target it and customize it. So say, put more emphasis on this, that this you want to do, cover the team page, cover the apps that were part of our consulting. So you can do these on the AI podcast Notebook LM. This is on part where it's under web links. The other thing is these 3 articles, Daniel, is what I want. Generative AI, what is artificial intelligence, and what is machine learning? I want these to be the articles for chapter 14. So maybe for Monday, you can say that these articles will be used. So you can see, in this case, Clark, for instance, what is generative AI? Everything you need to know. Look at this, Clark. How does generative AI work? What are the benefits and limitations? What are the use cases? What are the concerns? Can you see that being a possibility for an open-ended versus also what is artificial intelligence? What are the subfields? How is it applied to business applications? What are the challenges? And then machine learning is, what is machine learning? What's the difference between machine learning and AI? What industries are using ML, and give 3 examples. What's the difference between ML, which is machine learning, data mining, and deep learning? So these 3 articles, and an overview of this, Clark, could be taking what you've done in your project and how does that apply to what you've seen to, for instance, generative AI, using some of your applications that you're doing. Our exam, again, is on Monday, November 18th in class. So once we accomplish that, we will have on the 25th, let me just see our schedule here. We have, let me go to, I can't believe this is the last week of October, but basically if you look at it, we're on the 28th. In 3 weeks, we'll have our exam. So we'll have our chapters of the Gen AI, and after this, we'll have another 2 chapters, right? For a chapter a week. So there'll be, and basically on the 13th, I'll pass out a review sheet. And go through an overview and answer any questions that you have. We'll see that. Any questions, my people in the moderating my chat? Anything that we need to cover? So if you could do that and make that available, also these 3 articles for our readings. Daniel?
Sorry, what
Daniel,
was the question? I put them in there.
Okay, and then also do it for the other section as well, right?
Yes,
That's a
yes,
given. I always just
of course.
see that. Any questions? Okay, so I have this. So if I looked at any of this, you can see that this is the article of what is generative AI, how it's explained, the technology, the history of it. Basically, lately when ChatGPT came up, it got a lot of public attention, but this has really been around for a number of years. And when you think about it, there's ideas that you can read through this article thinking about generative AI's evolution from way before. I'm not going to be testing you on history, but you can also download, if you want, this guide as well down here on how generative AI works. What are the models? What do we talk about? Neural networks, things like DALL-E, ChatGPT. And notice that even this is generative, but a lot of new versions have even come up since then. Here, you can decide whether you want to watch this video. It's up to you. What are the limitations of generative AI? A lot of the hallucinations that you know into it, the use cases by industry, and the ethics that we've always talked about, and generative AI versus regular AI. So that's one of the articles that's important. This one from a company called SAS, which does a really nice job. I'd suggest you even read this first. Maybe you can even change the order, what the reading should be, Daniel, because I really like this reading first of artificial intelligence, where you get the history of it along with what is generative AI. This is a pretty good video. Why is it important, right, of adding of the intelligence, and basically how it's being used. Think about it in terms of industry. There's not going to be an industry that isn't going to be using AI, but again, you can focus in your own industry, and that's really what you're doing for your project of healthcare, retail, manufacturing, finance, and how it works. Know the difference then, when I was asking before, between machine learning, neural networks, and deep learning. I'll go over that with you. And you can think about, we've talked about it before, but that idea of computer vision, natural language processing, graphical processing units. We've talked about key and also NPUs, GPUs, the IoT, Internet of Things. We talked about algorithms before, and APIs, which are application program interfaces. So even when we go from Zoom to YouTube, that's an API, right? YouTube then uses an API, an application program interface, to connect both of those together. Okay. And then you can see here the next steps. And this is kind of like a commercial, which is SAS is basically a statistical software package that really takes into account machine learning and deep learning. And you don't have to, unless you want to, you don't have to go into those additional articles. But I think this one, Daniel, is a great one for the overall one. And then I would do maybe, this would be number 1, this is number 2, and this is number 3. So you can basically go through that artificial intelligence, right? That if I go to that artificial intelligence, you can see here, then you can go to what is Gen AI. And in this part of the machine learning, you can think about it, what it is and why it matters. And that's always my key, right? Where I said, what is it and why it matters. And machine learning is basically a branch of artificial intelligence. And it's based on what we've talked about before, that I want to learn from my data, I want to identify patterns, and I want to make decisions with minimal human intervention. When we were speaking about automated trading systems, you remember, what do we really want for the next step of automated trading systems besides the algorithms? Wouldn't it be nice for us to use machine learning for the system to learn about our data? In this case, it would be what? Our stock data that we have, our equity data from the history, our back testing, identify certain patterns that came about and make decisions, in this case, would trade for us with minimal human intervention. And of course, that minimal is, first of all, there has to be human intervention in a lot of this, and there has to be oversight. Because, as we mentioned before, there's things that happen that aren't identified by patterns. Think about it. The pandemic, all of a sudden it came back up that people weren't prepared for, and you have then to learn. And this is about the evolution of it. How does it work together? There's a little video all about the learning algorithms. And here's the game of how can we trust it? Because this is what people are concerned, what businesses are concerned about. How much AI should I adopt? Because how well can I not only trust it, but how well can I keep my own data from spreading to the internet? And also, how can I keep my own data to be parts private that I don't want to share, but still use the data? So that's the key, really, where people want some kind of guidance and trust, right? Trust and verify, right? And why is it important? Who's using it? And again, the same people: financial services, healthcare, insurance, life sciences, retail. It's like basically everyone is. Okay, and here they're talking about algorithms. We know how it works. What else? And this is a sales pitch. And here, when we talk about machine learning, what's important here is supervised learning versus unsupervised learning versus semi-supervised learning. And this is important basically in training the computer to understand what we want as our end product. So we as humans have to give it not only data, but to guide it. And then what's the difference here in reinforcement learning? I'll spend some time on Wednesday going over this, but this is important. This will be some of the questions will be asked: is supervised learning versus unsupervised, and reinforcement learning. Okay, questions?
Ellery is here.
Perfect. What great timing, huh? I got it through.
Hi, how are you?
Fine, Ellery. Another day, huh? Another
Yes,
sunshine, huh? With you here. Good to see
absolutely.
you back again, and I appreciate you inviting me to your partner summit. That was very interesting for me. And you know, like any of the conferences I go to, what's interesting is meeting other people there
Yeah.
and networking. There are a couple of people that are doing some interesting work, and they even reached out to me afterwards.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so we can do community. So you even interjected that. So Ellery, we're as usual short on time. So this is a fantastic class, you know, and I'm not saying that just to flatter them. They're really excited about their projects. Our students are going to be basically consultants, I think I told you before, for generative AI. They're excited about it because they're going to come up with skills, plus businesses can come to them and they can basically focus. Some of them are going to be focusing on education, for instance, helping students, for instance, to study. Some of them are going to be focusing in on real estate. Others of them will be more generic business applications. And the students are just super happy. So help us get along you know me, I'm going to interject and then we can get questions from them,
Okay, great.
how we proceed. And this is
Absolutely.
recorded, so,
That's great.
and we're recording on YouTube as well, so we'll have the link, and if you need the link, and our students can then go back and see it. And these slides, will these be available to us, Ellery?
Yes, I just sent them out to you and Daniel, so you'll be able to
Okay,
upload
so
them.
perfect. So Daniel will upload. Where are you going to upload it, Daniel?
The PowerPoint folder, PowerPoint
Okay, so
documents.
Daniel will upload these, everybody. Daniel will upload Ellery's slides to the PowerPoint
Okay, great.
section.
I'll go ahead and get started.
Perfect.
I want to thank everybody and excited to see what you all end up making. And for today, we're going to go through a few things, accessing your templates. Once you have your ideas and your projects ready to go, you'll really be able to search for something that's going to be able to build out that organization that you're creating and being able to tinker with it and modify it and make it your own. And so I'll touch a little bit on SEO, which is search engine optimization, how to access it on the back end and how to modify it so that you can be found. And then, of course, go through Wix bookings, some events. I'll show you how to add and integrate Zoom when you're creating a bookings or an event, and being able to access that for your clients. And then we'll go through the app features. We won't have time for a chat box, Dr. Rushnick. I was playing around with the different ones that are in Wix. And so far, what I found is one that I wanted to recommend. It's just that it's outside of Wix. But that's going to be one that I'll send you in. It's called Voice Flow, and I'll send that to you in an email. I really liked it. You made me go
Great.
down the chat box rabbit hole. But I want to say that's the one that I enjoyed, and that is something that you have to get externally. The
You get
other
it externally, but can you incorporate it into Wix?
you can, and I have a video that you can
Great. So
share.
we can, if you don't have time today, we can
Yeah,
put that up.
yeah,
That's
because I
great.
know that's one of the things you wanted to add in there. We
Yeah,
do have the AI chat boxes that you can modify on the back end, but it's not like this voice flow one where
good.
you put in the information, you add the documents or even the links and the articles of whatever you have on your site, and it'll auto-populate. So when someone goes in there and they chat, it's very generative. It's
Okay.
nice. You're gonna
So,
like it.
okay,
Um,
great. So you'll share that with me
yeah, so I'll send
afterwards?
you that one. And
Okay,
then
perfect.
I'll go through how to add contributors, as many of you will be building out a project, and I want to show you how you will be able to do that together on a team.
Yeah,
So
they'll need to even do that in the very beginning. Once they sign up, they need to sign the contributor.
absolutely. So as you all
Perfect.
pick a group, let's say there's 4 of you,
Mhm.
you'll want to have that one person who'll have the main access, and then that person is going to add everybody else to have access to the rest of the site. But I'll go through that.
Okay.
The first thing I wanted to talk about was just templates. She mentioned you're going to be creating consultations. What does that look like? I don't want you to think that you have to worry about coding or creating or designing, because that's something that you can find on Wix. There's over 900 templates to choose from. And so you simply just do a search based on what that kind of business is. And you can choose really any template because you'll be able to edit it. And so there's just a few examples in here in the deck, in the slide, some older ones, some that were
Mhm.
used in the past, really based on what the professor was kind of doing in the past. And so with you all, it just depends. What are you creating and what does that mean? And so for me, I'll show you here when we look into the template site, you'll be able to search through all these different categories. Again, really depending what kind of consultations. Is it health? Is it AI? I think you mentioned. Is it going to
Real
be a stock?
estate and things, yeah. Let me
Yeah.
just interrupt you. One quick thing, Ellery. If they go through using Wix AI, where Wix asks them questions and it
Yeah.
produces the website, can then they change the template to that afterwards?
You would have to, you can't just change a template. You'd have to start a new site page. So as you go through that process, and you guys pick as a team or you pick one person that chooses the template and you all agree, If you start with one, you can't just change it automatically. You'd have to create a whole new site
Okay,
because
so
there's
you
so
can't,
many on the back
so
end.
if, once Wix uses their AI, I cannot then, does
Whether
Wix,
it's AI or if it's one that you choose here and you start
Right.
working on it and building it, you'd have to create a new one. But
okay,
the good thing about it is there's no cap or limit on how many you create. You can make
right.
as many as you want until you get the one that you like. So
So
let's
the
say,
free version, so theoretically, everybody could try out one, and then
yeah,
they say, we like this one. So
absolutely. You can even do a vote. Like this is an example of the many sites that we build throughout
Right.
the day when we're presenting. And you just pick the one that you like.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. So you can go in here, go through the categories, do a search, or you can just add, I put in consultants, and it gives me some really good examples in here. And the one that I'm going to be showing you is going to be this one. I don't know. I like it. I like the color. I like the flow. You can try them out. You can click the view button just to kind of test drive it and see if that's what you like. And then you can go through all of its different pages. I like the way that it has the services lined up. So all I have to do is edit this and it'll look nice. I like the About Me page. It's very specific and it has maybe team members, which is something that
That
you all
I'm
can
asking
kind of
for,
add in
right.
there. So I really like this one based off of a little bit of what the professor
Mhm.
mentioned to me. And then I like the fact that it has like a nice little section in here where it's very scrolling effect, kind of like Instagram. I like the way that that is. And I have a nice little form in here and I can add information on the business. And I like that it has a nice little calendar for me to start choosing who I want to have a consultation with. So this is the one that I picked for us today.
Okay.
And once you decide on one and you're happy with it, all you have to do is click on edit the site. And once you do that, Wix will start opening up the editor. Now, again, that depends on what you want to do. You can choose through a template, or like the professor mentioned, when you open up Wix and you start the process, it'll say, hey, why don't you just feed me the information and the AI will build it out. You can do it that way. Or you can go even to ChatGPT and start building out your website because we're connected with them as well. So you'll notice that different options come out like, do you already know what you're going to be doing? What kind of business is this? You can add it in here. What kind of site? And it'll auto-populate depending on what you add in here. For me personally, I know that AI is a new trend. But I also like for you all to understand and know what you're doing and how to touch and play with it, how to edit it. I think it's very important so that you'll be able to understand and grasp how to use the editor. AI just makes everything quicker, and there's tons of features in here that'll help you use AI while you're building it out. So not just the template as a whole, if you wanted to, it even helps you pick colors and you can say how playful you want it to be or how professional, and it'll create it for you. But what I'll show you is just this templated version. These buttons here on the left are everything that has to do with building out your site and editing it and putting it together. And so we're going to go through elements, and we're also going to go through pages and menu and site design. It's pretty important. And then how to navigate this as a whole. How many of you have already started playing around with Wix? I have one person so far.
Yeah, we just gave the assignment of doing, we're a little bit behind, Ellery.
Okay.
So we
Okay,
just
great.
we gave the overall approval. And they're
Perfect.
supposed to be doing for Wednesday, they're supposed to be starting their first
Ah,
draft.
excellent. So you can choose to do a side-by-side view with me if you want. Just go into Wix.com, create an account. All you need to do is have an email and a password. And so from here, you can choose a template and you can start saying, you know, I want this to be my consultation site. Now what I want to do is start editing and making it my own. So you just click here on the actual editor. And you'll notice two things and two ways that you can start editing. And that's one, choosing the quick edit button, which gives you this side-by-side window view of making the edits to your page. You can easily change the background, change the color. You can change the different art that's in here. And I can also change the name of the business in here. So if I wanted to name this Miami Consultants. I can easily see that change happening automatically. Or I can click on the actual item and you'll notice that it'll give me the option to edit. So anytime you click on an element, that an element is either a text or an image or a background or a font, or a paragraph, you'll notice that you get this nice little floating menu, and that's how you edit. You can choose edit text. And so instead of using the side-by-side view, I can do individual edits to elements, and that's what we mean by elements. And so here it can be something like marketing strategies. So that's as easy and as simple as you can start making those edits for your team based on the account or the business type that you're creating. And you can add text individually. So a nice little paragraph in here, or again, you can change the background if you wanted to. You'll notice that the element asks you, do you want to change this background, or do you want to change this art that's here? You can always edit it and make it unique and your own. And if you want to add elements or other features, for example, there's nice little images, there's different kinds of boxes in here that you have that already come with this specific template. You can modify this, you can make it unique, you can make it your own, or you can add to it simply by clicking here on this Add Elements button. And this is where you'll be able to add a ton of things. If you want to get granular and you want to say, I want a gallery and I want to have tons of images or videos, maybe I want to have a nice little slide effect with videos, and I want to, I don't know, record ourselves talking about our consultation. You can upload that video and add it in here. But that's what we mean by adding an element. Anything and everything that you see on the page, on the site, you can include, and I would definitely recommend playing around with all of these just to familiarize yourself with them. The next button that I want to show you is your pages. So depending on that template that you choose, or maybe you even start from scratch and you want to start building it out, you'll notice that the pages that come with this specific template is an About Us page. That's probably one you're going to want to edit about your own company and your group. Again, I chose this one because I like that you can add your images as a group and talk about it. If you want to add and go over the different kinds of services that you have, you can edit that page in here. If you want to add a nice little form section that says, hey, let's have a conversation, you'll be able to contact us. Here's how you can reach us. You even have a nice little FAQ page. Just like you can edit a page, you can also remove them simply by clicking here on these three little buttons. You can go ahead and remove a page if you don't like it. Maybe you just want to make it simple, 3 pages, and your professor lets you get away with it, then even better for you. You have just 3 pages to worry about. So it just depends on what you all want to do. All right, so I think the next thing I want to do is talk about SEO. It's the first item. Search engine optimization allows you all to be found on Google. We partner with Google. So if you're putting in a search engine and you're trying to find Miami consultants on whatever that topic is that you're selling for your business, you can easily go into your backend tool and start setting up all your SEO. So I'll go here into my business, and you'll be able to go in here into the backend. You'll notice that it'll walk you through the steps of what you would need to update one by one if you wanted to. But all you have to do to get started on your SEO is click on your site button and go to your dashboard. And here's where you'll be able to choose all your backend tools. SEO is a backend tool that allows you to start setting up those different, I want to say, what would we call them? Taglines is what I would kind of call it. Let's see here. So we're going to go in here under site and mobile app. You're going to click on SEO, and you're going to see how easily it walks you through these different steps. Okay.
And that'll be a
Everything in here-
requirement.
Yes, this is typically a requirement of how can I
Yeah.
create my searchability on my website. And the best thing about it is that it really walks you through these steps.
Mhm.
So it'll start with, well, what's the name of your site or your company? You want to give it a name. And then from there, it'll ask you, is this something that you want just locally, or do you want to concentrate internationally? I mean, I want to expand my business. I don't want to limit it to the 305. So I'm going to go ahead and pick a larger scale. And then these are your taglines. You get 5 that you can choose, as specific and as narrow and as niche as you can make it. Miami Consultants is pretty broad. So I think what I'll do is choose Miami Consultants. I don't know. What do we want to do? Marketing
Now,
for
Ellery, do you recommend them doing this after they upgrade? So they'll have their domain name once they do the SEO? Or when they
it
upgrade, the SEO will go with that?
yeah, so it depends. I would say planning is my always number one advice. Plan everything before you do it.
Right,
And so if you have already an idea of what your domain's going to be, first you have to find out if it's available. So
right,
in this case, I would say get the domain, finish the site, add all the information. You're going to understand what your company and what your business is. So then that's
yes,
going to help you narrow down what your taglines are going to be.
yeah,
So I'm just giving you an example of,
right.
I
But
want
I
this to have the
suggest,
name.
yeah,
Yeah,
I suggest, Ellery, that they finish up their site. Then when they
yeah.
upgrade with their domain name, then they can go into the SEO. So at that point, they already have what is your domain name. They have a better idea of what keywords they're going to be using. So that'll be great
Oh yeah,
to do that.
absolutely.
And what domain names are available? Is there a list that you
Yeah, you're
can
gonna
go?
go in there when you choose domains, and you'll be able to see what's available. So you put it in and it'll tell you if it's open or not to be used.
And it will tell us .biz is available or
Yep.
.ai. It gives
Yeah,
us
you don't have
listing.
to stay with .com. You can
Right,
really use any, which is the nice thing. Again, depending on what your business is, some
right.
people like to use specific ones based on that industry. And so for me, I'm just showing you, hey, what are good examples? The less wordy, the better, and more specific to your page. Of course, all of these kinds of tags that you're creating are going to be found within your site. Because again, it's going to be searching all of the internet, and you're going to be able to use all these taglines that are going to crawl online in the back end, and it's going to start picking it up whenever you have a user searching you. So this is just an example of 2 tags that I created. Again, you don't want to make it super broad. Be as specific as you can when you're making these, and then it'll just finish up telling you how to apply it. This is me going into very quick version, but
Mhm.
of course you're going to need to have, your homepage name, your title, and then it'll ask you, okay, what's your domain? And then of
Right,
course, connecting it to Google,
perfect.
and it'll finish up that process, and then
So I
anyone
think
can be
they'll use
found.
this after they upgrade. It'll
Yes,
be
and
good
this
to
is for your
start doing.
site as a whole. You can add
Right,
SEO to anything,
right.
any projects, any videos, any music,
Mhm.
any sections on your site. If you had a blog, you can add it in there, but this is a really great way for you to be introduced to SEO for the whole site.
Mhm.
Okay. All right, so that's our very first section in here. Again, I have a nice little kind of slide that'll walk you through it, talking about what that means, what is SEO, what are the best kind of keywords. Again, what does a paid version look like? This is what you pay for in order to be at the top of a search engine. This is an organic version, what we just created. That means that you're not paying for the service. It's not under the little sponsored sections that you'll usually see. Notice that it says ads. This is going to be a free version. Usually you can keep scrolling down on a search and you'll be able to find all the organic ones. And depending on the way you have your computer set up, you can even remove all these paid ad ones, which is what a lot of people do to find the organic ones. And then just more detail on things you want to consider about SEO. So I feel free to go through these slides. The next thing I'll do is just kind of show you you're going to be creating consultations. So you're going to need a calendar. You're going to need to learn about bookings. You're going to need to learn how to set it up. So let's go through that. I talked about this specific template that I chose. I liked it because it has bookings already. So let's go into that right now. Notice that when I click here on my business tool on the left side of the screen, I'm able to see different options. And so this is a business site. It's connected so that I can make bookings. And what I want to start doing is creating those services. You can find this on the editor side, but you can also find it here on the back end, because the back end is where your office is located for your site. And so you can easily be able to click on your booking calendar and start adding several things. You can add team members as part of a schedule, and your visitor will be able to see them. Notice that it says the types of services or the types of staff, where are they located, very specific and granular. So for all of you, I would say let's get started by adding a service, okay? Again, you can do that here on the back end, or you can easily find how it walks you through these steps on the editor side when you click on booking. So if I want to add my first service, you can start this step-by-step process. And you can click, I want to create a service for my first company. And the first thing I want to do is have maybe a free consultation first. I want like a 15-minute consultation with each client. You'll notice that you have nice examples in here and they even price them out. So let's go ahead and start that. I want a virtual consultation. It even has one ready to go. Or
Let's
you can
do
start from
free.
scratch.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's do the free one. All right, so let's
that
pick
says
this
paid
one.
session. Isn't
Yes,
it? There
I'm gonna change it so that they
Oh,
can see.
perfect.
So you'll notice anything in here you can edit. So if I want my virtual consultation, you can even market it and say free. People love free. You can give additional descriptions. You can add your own image in here if you wanted to. I don't really want to waste my time with a potential client or non-client for a whole hour, because time is money. So I want to make sure this is 15 minutes and I want this to be free. So under this price section, you can modify that and you'll be able to kind of pick that. So I'm going to just remove this 5-pack session here. Again, all I'm doing is editing this. I want to go ahead and update this. Let's see here. I want to add my video conferencing here. This is what the professor always mentions. How can I add my own Zoom in here? I want to be able to have this be linked to my specific Zoom account. Again, I believe you said you want them to use the university
No, the opposite.
or the
One thing
personal.
is they need to be authorized and be the owner. So
Yes.
put that note there, and Daniel, later on, we can even put that in our third part, is when they do the Zoom Connect, they'll have to create their own free Zoom account in order to do that Zoom connection, because the API of Zoom and Wix requires that we have control over it. Just like you
There
have
you go.
control over our own YouTube account, you have
Yes.
to have control over it. And what we're using now is Zoom. We're using it for the university, and we don't have administrative rights for that.
Oh yeah, that'll be tough. So you'll have to have
You
your
have
own
your
account.
when connecting to a Zoom account, someone in the group has to have their own free Zoom account.
Yeah.
So you see that you cannot authorize Wix in this case.
Yeah,
because you
because I
don't
have a
that.
Wix one.
Right.
Mine will automatically pick up the Wix one, so I would have to switch account and go to my personal one, which is
But we
exactly
can,
what you'll probably notice.
right. So we'll have instructions basically on that, but I wanted to show them that isn't that a great facility that Wix then establishes. You see that line there, just like we do with Zoom and YouTube, it's Wix is doing an API with Zoom. That
Yeah.
way. Okay, but it has to be, we have to create our own Zoom for
Yeah,
that.
so once you connect it, it's going to populate in here, and then you'll be able to have access and it'll show up on the calendar and your client's calendar. So let's just say they pick a session. We just modified this. It's going to be 15 minutes. And I just made it free. So if I want to, let me pick a plan. Let's see here. I want this to be, I really want a plan here. First session, save. Okay, so I've just kind of created that. If I want to see it, then I'll just go ahead and click
So for
preview.
bookings, they need to be upgraded as well? I think for
Yes, to
Zoom,
make
right?
it, yeah, to make it live.
Right.
Even if it's not, if it's on the free version, they'll have access to it. They just can't like make a payment.
Okay, all right.
So I just gave myself a name. I want to publish this and I want to be able to make this live. And I just want to kind of show you. You can easily preview it before you make it live. But I want to show you how easily and quickly I've been able to kind of make the first session in here. And so if I go to services, I'll be able to see my free consultation. So I made a few of them in here. And then that person can click on it and notice what we meant by not being live. You can't physically like put it in a shopping cart and add it. But once you have the account on a premium, then you'll be able to see the calendar, pick a date and a time and that whole thing.
Well, that's what we want. So all of that needs to be done with the bookings need to be done once we upgrade as well, right?
Yeah, but you can make him. You can
You
make
can
all of
make it and
these.
then it will be operational when we upgrade.
Absolutely. All right. So any questions on that? You will get the recording, so don't worry if you have
Okay.
questions about that. But I want you all to know where everything is. So this is like your little business manager here, trying to figure out all the different things that you can do to complete your site. And you can manage the different apps and sections in here, or you can go into your, where is it? Your backend manager, your little office that per se for your site, and you can do it through your booking calendar in here. Okay, and you'll be able to see it also. All right, so the next item up here on our session for today, you've seen how you can create a booking for your consultation, create a type of service, price it or not price it, be able to add staff to it, and be able to manage those services again through the back end, and be able to edit it depending on what you want to do. All right, so we've added the Zoom. You'll know that you have to create your own Zoom account, your personal one, because it will not connect with your account. Okay, so integrating apps and tools. Plenty of different things that you can choose. There is a huge variety, over, I want to say over 300 different tools that you can use. I recommend using a free tool. I always tell the professor, don't worry about getting something that is paid, or maybe you need a premium account for it to function. You have a code that will allow you to get a premium, but I would always say use something that is free so you don't have to worry about it later.
Right.
So definitely plenty of different things that you can do. You can add video, you can add music, you can add different kinds of tools or integrations, Google Analytics if you wanted to, just a nice variety of things that you can add in here. And then let me show you what that looks like so you can see where your apps are. Again, you can choose to find apps here under your backend tool, okay? And we call it the app market, and you can do a search and you can add tools or you can add features to your site that maybe the template that you chose, it might not have. This particular template here doesn't have a chat box. So if I wanted to add it, I can simply go in here, chat box, and it'll do a search for it. And I can notice it'll tell me free to install. I can have this available so that anyone that contacts me will be able to either collect information, which is what you want to do, always collect client information so that it's never lost, even if you're not available on live. And you can set some parameters in here so that it can then be automated. So you can set it to be automatic. You can set it to collect certain information or to even ask a question or respond. So it's totally up to you. Okay, so I'm just adding this tool here to my site. This one specifically doesn't have a chat box, but I want to show you how easily you can add something and within seconds it's automatically integrating and it does it all on its own. And with that, it'll just add a nice little button that says a chat feature. And then you can set up office hours if you want to. You can set up the way that it kind of talks to the client and things like that. But yeah, you'll be able to modify that. Any questions on that? You'll notice here I went to my little business, my office per se button, and now I have the Wix chat button in here. So you'll be able to set up hours for it, create automatic responses, and then you can set it up to ask for certain data or information. Okay, so that's how easily you can get apps. That was on the back end. You can easily do that here for the button where it says add apps. Pretty easy to find. Any questions about that? Just going through the pages here. I don't see any questions or any chat. No questions in the chat either. Okay. Well, we're going through this pretty quickly. All right. So now you know how to get to your apps. You know how to add an app simply by clicking the Add App tool. If you wanted to, I don't know, what other tool is there that you wanted to show?
I think the first thing they
Right.
need to do is with their inviting contributors to in the dashboard. I think, Ellery, this should be one of their first steps that they do.
Yeah, let's do that. So let's go straight into, again, our backend tool. Let me just close this up. And I want you all to see, how do I add folks to my page? I just chose a template and I want to add my team to it. So I'm going to go to my dashboard and I'm going to add my contributors. I have it set up in the slide deck, but I want to show you how easily you can add your contributors. So you can go here to settings and you can say, hey, I have 4 team members. Let's go ahead and give them access because everyone's going to be assigned different things. And so you click here, site member settings. You can click on view and manage. And this is where you'll be able to add those individuals by including their emails. And you can set their permissions, right? So you can say, I want this person to have all the permissions. And you'll be able to do that in here. Oh, wait, let me get set permissions in here. You'll be able to edit it. Notice that you'll, oh, wait, let me go in here. Oh, sorry, I got a chat message.
Excuse me, I have a question.
Yes.
So when you're adding other members, from my screen, I'm only able to add one person. However, there's 5 people in the group project. Is there a way to go around that, or is it only one person that you can collaborate with
No, you
without
should
having to
have,
pay?
you should have access. Let me see. Collaborators. Last time I checked, it was 5 collaborators, even if it's free. But let me double check. I'm not sure that it was updating things.
You should be able
Okay.
to
Yeah, it should be up to 5.
set new role, but this is managing them. How do you you want to create it?
Yeah.
You don't want to manage you don't want to manage the
Collaborators.
customer. You want to create your you want to create your
Sorry about
members.
that. It looks like it's updated. So you have 1 free collaborator when it's
What?
free. Yeah, one for the free account.
So when
So
you
you have-
upgrade, so now you only can do 1?
Yes, that's what it looks like.
They
Yeah,
must
they
have changed
updated it.
that, right?
This is recent because just
That
last
doesn't make
week
any
I
sense.
had 5.
Right, that
Last week
doesn't
I
make
had
any
5.
sense.
It must be an update then. You have 1 free collaborator seat as standard, yeah. They just changed it.
That's silly.
That is interesting for sure.
Well, so they only can do, so how are they going to?
Yeah, so it's well then for your class, I guess the step is gonna be different. It's
So what,
gonna be
so they're gonna have to
creating a
upgrade?
premium first.
That's interesting, yeah, because
yeah,
this is brand new. Are you're
This
sure about?
just
Thank you,
happened.
Clark.
I'm so glad that she saw that.
Yeah, Clark, yeah, this is
Because
really,
just last week I was presenting and I didn't have that issue at all. Okay, so yeah,
yeah,
you're gonna need to
so it's
upgrade.
not, so you only can upgrade. So maybe what you can do is, maybe what they can do if we have, Clark, if you have
Yeah.
a couple of members, what you could do is a couple of people by twos create like a sample site, but then just upgrade one of those so you can have more. So I think in the business plan, right? Let's look at the business plan, invite collaborators, right? Is this in the regular? Is this in
No,
your current
this
plan
is
allows one collaborator seat? Yeah. To
yeah,
add more, upgrade your plan. So I guess they're trying to get the upgrade.
yeah. Yeah, this is new.
You can give them feedback, Ellery.
Collaborators. I'm gonna ask about
Yeah,
academic
give them
partners.
feedback from me as an academic partnership that they really should increase this. If you want to have students look at that as a group project, at least have it 5, in a group here.
Yeah, I'm looking at the comparison now for collaborators. So for light, it's 2, core is 5, and business is 10.
So what do we
So
get?
for your class, I put all 3 for you. I put light, core, and business.
Okay, I think business it will be the best then.
Yeah, business has up to 10.
Yeah.
So I think it's best to do that one. So that's new. Sorry, guys. This is
That's good that we
fluid,
find out. I'm
moving
glad that you came
change.
here because we would be struggling with that.
Yes, absolutely.
Then I have a question because
Yeah.
my group has already started on their website, and right now I'm the only one who has access to it. So how am I able to make sure that
Oh,
everyone else is able to?
I'm going to show you now. So you're going to go to your settings. You're going to go to roles and permission, and you're going to invite all your collaborators by adding their email, and you're going to make them all admin.
But she has to upgrade first to get more
Well,
than one?
in order to have more than one, yeah, it says here the free is 1. This is new. This just changed. So yes, you'll have to provide the code ahead of time, Professor. It's in the email now with Daniel.
I see the codes, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm supposed to put in a code that will then allow for the premium access?
Yes. So let's
And
go ahead and show you the upgrade.
Yeah. I'm so glad
Sorry
we
about
saw
that.
that extra credit, Clark.
Yes. Yeah, you're gonna get
Did
an
I
extra A.
distribute the codes, Professor?
Yeah, to each group. Yeah, we have to that each group get the
If
code.
each group could send me a direct message, whoever made the website, and then
Or
I could
even,
send
you
you
know
the
what,
code.
you could even put that in each group, in their group, you could put code.
Yeah, it's the same code for everyone.
Yeah, so you can even just put that as the code for each group, or you could set that up.
Yeah.
Or even Daniel, what you could do in their audit areas for the group, you could even add, this is your code or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So we can have
So
this is for upgrade. So
I'll just show this one more
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Where it is. You do have
Yeah.
the deck. The deck walks you through the steps.
Okay.
But I want to go through this one more time because I know we
Yeah.
had that hiccup. But you're going to go to your settings, your
Yes.
dashboard. You'll click on roles and permission. Of course, after upgrading, it will allow you, and you'll be able to send multiple emails. So each of your members will get a group, will get an email, and they'll say, hey, you're now a collaborator and you have access to everything.
Okay,
Make
so
sure you
everybody
choose
should get
admin.
be administrator.
Yeah, you'll get the email. And then in here, wherever you see like an upgrade button, I guess this is going to be now the first step, Professor. So for my next deck, I'm going to reorganize it for your next class, by the way.
Yeah, do
You'll
that and put it
choose
here. Yes.
business. here it tells you the amount of collaborators. Sorry, guys, this used to be five free, and then the opposite, it would go up.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
now, you'll
Yeah, so
need to
let's
choose
everybody,
business.
let's everybody do, let's make sure everybody knows we're gonna use the business plan.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna use yearly. Everybody put a note in your notes here. You have to put in yearly.
Yeah.
Because if we put in yearly, then we can get it free. Did you hear that,
Yes.
Clark? So the whole idea is to put in business plan yearly,
And you have to have a promo
and then
code
we
here.
enter our program code. When
Let
you
me just-
say apply, then you need to see that the total says 0. If it
Yeah.
says something other than 0, you do not proceed.
Yeah,
Everybody
so
hear me?
when you
Sam,
click
did you hear
apply,
that?
it
That
should be
if
0.
it has to say 0.
Yeah. And then I also sent in that email, Professor, the auto renewal removal for you. So make sure that when you end the class, you add that as an extra step to remove it so that they don't get any
So what did you
charges.
actually send me?
I send you the codes, I send you the directions, and I sent you a link so that you can share with them how to remove the auto renewal.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
And you sent that to
So-
Daniel as well?
Yep,
Ellery?
it's copied in
Okay.
there.
Perfect.
So
I have it. I'm putting in the documents folder.
Yeah, put it in the document. So this is really going to change everything, Daniel, that we do.
yeah, this is an extra step. It goes backwards.
I'll
Yeah,
make an announcement in that case.
yeah, we're gonna have
Okay.
to make an announcement on that. So basically, Ellery, they're gonna upgrade first, but once they upgrade first, they only can have one version, right?
Yeah, I would say pick your template, like put everything together once you're happy with it. Before publishing, just go ahead and add the code. Like once you pick the template and all of
But
that.
only 2 people can then make that.
Well, they'll be able to add the collaborator, they just won't access it. So I would say work on the project or get together, put it together, and then go ahead and add the code once you're happy with that template. There is another step, and I'm gonna send you a follow-up email because this is backwards, I guess, in a way. I'll show you how you can, if you choose another template that you're happy with, and you want to move the code to that template or that site, you can just change it. Because I don't want you to feel like you're stuck with one site if then you make something else and you're happier with the other one, if that makes any
Right,
sense.
that's my
You can move the code around to whatever site you want, which is a good thing.
okay. And
So
you'll
I'll
send me
send you-
you'll send me
I'm gonna
something
send
on
you
that?
that.
What will you send me, and directions on how to do that?
Yeah, and I'm gonna change the order of this for you too, just so it's
Yes.
easier for the PDF.
Right.
I'm gonna
So-
work on that
Yeah,
after this
so
session.
Ellery, let me just get this clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's say we have the group leader.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they can work maybe on a Zoom together, like a Zoom conference call, and they can work on it together
Yeah.
on what they want to do it, and then can have one other collaborator. Is that the correct one?
Yeah.
Once
I mean, they can still send it. It'll just have access to one other person. But I would say pick a template that you want to work with, make it a premium, and add the 5 people, and then work from there.
Okay. So
I would-
upgrade almost basically they have to upgrade in the very beginning.
Yeah, I would
Very
say
clever.
upgrade after the template.
But
Until
in
we are
this
one.
case, it's still the case that when for instance Clark adds her other group members, they cannot work on it simultaneously. They have to, each person has to work on it separately. Is that
That's
still the
right.
case?
That's still the case. It's not like a Google Doc.
That they can do it. So
yeah.
once somebody has finished, then they
Yeah,
can.
you can work
so-
on it in sections at different times. You'll notice that
But it
won't
has
do
to be different times. So
same.
I can't work on the team page and Clark works on the social media page. It has to
Right.
be at different times.
Yeah,
Okay.
but that is pretty much it. That's all the sections.
Okay.
So I'll rearrange this just to make it make sense
Yes.
for stepwise for them. And then if you wanted to add a branded app I'm not sure if you're having them do this as part of
No,
the
no, we're
assignment.
not gonna do that for this assignment. We have so many other things to do, yeah.
Perfect. And then from there, I'm just adding a few details in here. The code's going to be given to you. That's a new
Okay.
step that it'll be at the beginning. And you'll be able to access it. If you have questions on anything Wix, you can go to the Wix Help Center.
Uh-huh,
24/7. I know students love to work late at night, so you can ask
right.
questions in here and it'll give
This
you
is really
articles.
helpful, yeah.
And if you want tutorials or more
Right.
assistance through steps and watch videos, you can go in here under Wix Learn.
Mhm.
And then, of course, I gave you the link for SEO tools if you want to understand it a little bit better.
Mhm.
And then I also provided in here FAQs. In here is the auto removal renewal link,
Okay,
but I sent it to you in an email so you can have it front and center for them
okay,
to
perfect.
know how to remove
Okay,
that.
okay.
Okay. But other than that, that's pretty much it. Sorry about the hiccup and that one extra
Well,
step that's gonna
it
change the
it was
order.
crucial. It was crucial for us to
Yes.
have it. It was very valuable. Okay, Ellery, thank you so
Thank
much.
you
I'm
all.
glad that we found that recent update and you can give them
Absolutely.
feedback.
I'm gonna
That,
ask about our educators because this is gonna be different for
yeah,
everyone.
right. So if you're going to do groups for your educators, you want to give
Absolutely.
them something, you want to give them at least feedback.
Yes.
And especially if you want those students to go ahead and promote your products because they know how to use it, it'd be great that you make it as easy as possible.
Absolutely. Thank you all. Thanks,
Thank you very
Professor.
much. Thank
I'll
you.
send you a follow-up in about
Yeah,
half an hour.
half an hour. Perfect.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. So, Daniel, what do you think?
Well, we have to make some changes, but
Yeah,
it is what it is.
it is what it is, but at least we get free domain names. We got to look at it positively. We get free domain names. Again, I'm glad that people are into that. So
Yeah.
have you posted then what is the upgrade code?
I posted the code.
Where
It
did you
is
post it?
it is under PowerPoint and documents, but I'm going to put an announcement to that.
Right. So this is one code for each group, right?
It's the same code for all groups.
Yeah, for all of them, but we can use
But
it.
yeah, it's the person who makes the website should use the code.
Right. So they have to, so it's the case they have to put in, one person puts in their credit card. They have to make sure when they upgrade that they don't get charged, that it's a
Well, auto
zero
renew, and
amount.
I put that link in there as well.
Right. Okay. Can you show us? Can you share your screen so we can just see it? Because we're running out of time here.
Sure.
And then maybe go to attendance too.
Sure, I
After.
can do all of those.
I must admit, I was disappointed in that.
Yes,
In my opinion, that was not a good marketing move. But they thought somebody in corporate decided, oh, we can get money by eliminating it.
seems like it, yeah. So the code is here. It's in PowerPoint and documents. I'll put an announcement as well so you guys can know where to go.
Yes.
But here is the
Wait.
code and then
Okay, here's the code. So what is this code, that PDF? That's not useful anymore, right?
so no, this PDF is useful. It's how to actually upgrade.
But is it giving another?
Like it shows you what steps to go through in order
Okay,
to
so
implement
maybe
the code.
change the date so it doesn't say 23, right? And
Yeah.
also, we're doing business, right? And make sure that it says that we're doing business.
Mhm.
We're upgrading to business.
And yeah, this is from Ellery. And then
Okay.
this is I'll change the date though.
Yeah,
This is the how to turn off auto renewal.
right, okay. But that's at the end. That's after they present. We don't have to
Yeah.
worry about that. Okay,
Let's do the attendance.
yeah. And then we can stay with people and then and just do check-in. Slow, huh? Start checking.
School internet,
Yeah. I would think it'd be
9377.
okay, folks, the 9377. We'll see you on Wednesday. And can you put maybe under the chat, Daniel, my at 6:15 if you want to see me again, my URL for my Zoom meeting.
In the chat?
Yeah.
Sure. I have the class, but
You're at what? Okay.
I have
you're-
the class time.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
Okay, so fine. When you're there, you can put it in.
yeah, I'll put the link in
Or
there.
you could put even you can put in the announcement of H1 of the H that if they need to see me at 6:15, they can stop by. Okay. All right. Nikita, you have a question?
Yeah, I just had a quick question because when I just did my attendance for today,
Yeah.
it says that I was absent last class, but I was here. I worked on the project with my group, and I remember a meeting with
Yeah,
Daniel.
right. So Daniel,
I'll change that.
right.
Thank you.
And Sam, what's your question?
Same thing with me too. It wasn't showing I was absent that day.
Okay.
Have you guys all done the code that shows up here?
Sam, did you do the attendance?
Yeah, I did. Yep.
Okay.
But just for the 23rd.
Yeah.
All right. I'll
Okay.
fix that for both.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so you need to go to class. So that was a big, let me just stop my recording.